Hi, welcome to the I Do podcast with Viv
And
and Jay.
JPaul. Forgot myself.
Yeah, this is brought to you by Coffee Beans Manila. It's you know, it's it's really a mission for the both of us to be able to support the Jeremiah girls. These girls have experienced sexual abuse in their homes, and so this shelter is really providing for them a safe space to grow and heal. So also, I would love to invite all the women out there to our Jewels conference this coming July 16 to 17. It's online, but you can visit jewelsconference.com for more information. So, today, what is our episode about?
Yeah, it's really exciting because here's the premise or the problem. Para school eh, no? A lot of people think that just, finding love is an accident. But really, you have to pray for it. I think a lot of people, based on conversations, are afraid to pray for a happy future, a happy marriage. And just, for whatever reason, it's because people are afraid to be rejected. What if it doesn't come true? When you pray, you pour your heart out to God. You make yourself vulnerable. You open up what is really something that matters to you. So what women and men do, they would just rather push it down and hope for the best. And we're just constantly frustrated. So for example, one of my favorite shows growing up, and this is our debate, because I'm a How I Met Your Mother person. My wife Viv is a Friends person.
Yep,
And
all the way.
and for How I Met, Ted, Ted, especially Barney and Robin, they've been looking for love in the wrong places, and just like falter and fall, crash and burn, etc. And it's just really they can't find their break in finding love. Why? Because it was they were taking it into their own hands. Or myself, I was looking for love in the wrong places, thinking that compatibility is not enough, or just somebody that's beautiful is enough, and it doesn't. That's not enough to find your one true love. So you really have to pray for it and want it and desire a happy marriage in the future if you want it. Because if, like, for example, if you want good grades in school, you will work hard for it, right? So same thing, if you want a happy marriage, you have to work for it to make it happen.
Yeah. I think um it's a bit scary to pray for in a sense. Okay lang mag-dream for a happy marriage, I think, but to pray for it and to kind of surrender this, in essence, it's a bit scary because it means that there is a part of it that you're allowing um, to give to God, that you're allowing Him to be in control of your future, and parang I think it's that having to surrender your dream by praying for it is honestly difficult because sa totoo lang, we have our own expectations, we have our standards, and some of them have been, with us since we were kids, or parang meron tayong idea of what a relationship should be. But I think that when you say na, okay, I'm gonna ask God, I'm gonna pray for this, I'm gonna make this a very personal experience, encounter of trust with God, that's a bit scary because it it kind of reflects ano yung relationship natin with God. How much can we trust Him with our future? How much can we trust that His dreams are better than ours? I think a lot of people are scared of this. Um, because I remember I was, but also because I felt like I was pushed to a corner na hindi naman na nag-work talaga yung mga ginagawa ko before, yung mga tinatry ko. They weren't working. Or when I was just trying to be in control of that relationship, lalo siyang Lalo na papahamapit. I don't know. So I really, for personally, I guess I went into a place of surrender because I felt that I don't think I have the power to do this by myself. And that was before like meeting you or everything. Ako lang yun, just being a single woman. It was scary to say, Lord, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. What do I really know? Um, and it started from there. And I think just with those weird prayers na parang, wala akong ka-date and I feel so bad, Lord. Yung ganon. Nag-start ako dun eh. Yung parang, Valentine's. Tapos, mag-isa ako. And then I felt slowly God telling me, wait, I'm here. And as I, grew my relationship with God, I learned to trust Him. And I said, but okay, like, I love you, Lord, but I have this dream and desire to be in a relationship and find the man that you want for me. And then I felt that He was also telling me na, well, I'm going to journey with you through that. And I want you to find that man for your future because I have a plan for you. And parang yun, lahat nung thoughts na yun nag-unravel and a bigger dream came because I was willing to pray and surrender. So I think this is the reason why we're talking about this because for the for both of us, it started from there. It started with the prayer. It started with us asking God, what are your dreams for our lives? And yeah, and it was messy because, you know, we personally faced our own demons and just through that journey of prayer and surrender, um ang dami. Ang daming naungkat. Ang daming na-realize. But we wouldn't be here without that, without starting our journey that way. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Yep.
How is it for you as a man? Like, I'm sure women are more open to really praying about this
Yeah.
and going like, Lord,
I think
help.
what's really important also, I think for both men and women, prayer is the same for men and women. It's just really what our desires are different, or our picture of what we want is different from men and women, I think. Um, what changed for me was like when you pray, you are actually putting yourself in a space that you are declaring to the universe that God is God and you are not. That you are submitting to God. For example, if you're not Catholic, you're submitting yourself to a higher being. That's really what prayer in general is. Of course, we can go deeper if you want to, but at least in that perspective, that's how simple it is. And when you pray for a partner, a spouse, it's not just, oh, you want to be selfish. It's not prosperity gospel. But you see, for me, at least in my experience, let me give an example. When I was growing up, I had this fantasy that, oh, yeah, when I get my one true love, she's going to be like wearing this sexy maid outfit every time I go home. She's going to desire me, and she's going to give me coffee. And it's like, it's that selfish. But everything was for me.
Yeah.
But then as I prayed, like, Lord, I want to have a happy marriage. It's that simple. I want a happy house. Like, it doesn't matter how big. What's important to me is that we have joy at home and we're friends. So as I was praying that, oh yeah, maybe a good woman is not gonna be there like stupidly waiting for you and like just like take me.
Absolutely.
It's just really probably found in porn. So that was being weaned away from me. Yeah, until one day, stop thinking about, yeah, maybe I'll be lucky if she one day wears a sexy maid outfit for me. But even if she doesn't,
Nagpaparinig ka ba?
but even if she doesn't, I'll still be happy. That's my point. And really, what I realized as I prayed about a future marriage, a happy marriage, is that marriage is not about what I receive from my spouse. It is about the love and the overflow I have in my heart to give, even if it is not returned back to me. Why? Because I'm free to give. And that is freedom. That is freedom that God gives in our life that we want to share to our spouse. So there.
Through this journey of building a relationship with God through prayer, ano yung ni-reveal ni God sa'yo? What's like the most important, let's say, lesson that He revealed to you in your time of prayer? Whenever that.
Yeah, very simple. I think marriage and priesthood are very similar in a sense because you're as a priest, you are giving your whole life to the church. The church is your marriage. Yung asawa mo yung simbahan. So you take care of your spouse. In marriage, it is very similar. You give yourself to your spouse for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. Even if your spouse does not return the favor, that is the risk of marriage. So whenever I, swallow my pride, I sacrifice for Viv, this might be controversial. Yes, I love my wife and, I want to give my life to her, but also I swallow my pride and do what I do because I love God more. It is because of my faith, my submission to God, that I treat my wife the best way I can. I'd rather be mad at her at times, but then I just swallow and serve her because I know it would please God. And and whenever I do that, the feeling does not follow. I'm a very feelings person, just in case you don't know. I do the obedient part, and the feelings do not catch up, and it takes a while. But then when I do what God is asking me to do, I do what is right. Eventually, the feelings catch on, and I am so much happier because I did not let my feeling of anger, laziness, or whatever feeling take the best out of me. It is what my free will gave me freedom to love. And that's the best feeling in the world, the best choice, the best joy that you're free to love, you're free to give. You're not a prisoner of jealousy, you're not a prisoner of your lust, you're not a prisoner of your anxiety, you're not a prisoner of your envy or whatever negative feeling. That you have so much that you can give.
Yeah, I agree. Ah, grabe. Prayer really, I think for me, it started with, Lord, I want this. I want this kind of man, right? Or I want this kind of future. And just throughout my journey, slowly through prayer, even if hindi pa dumating yung gusto ko, I found that God was changing me, my heart. He was transforming my dreams, my character. And tama ka, and I can really relate with the concept na when you pray, ikaw yung nag-change eh. Because you start to release your selfishness, your selfish ideas, expectations, selfish ways. And you allow God to change you every day. I think yun yung pinaka-miracle of prayer. It's not the, uy, dumating na siya, answered prayer, or yung dream ko nag-come true na. I don't think na nandun yung miracles. Yes, those are good things. When you've realized your dreams, when your dreams have come to fruition, but the miracle happens with your change of heart, with your change of character, growing deeper into knowledge of yourself and of God. Yun yung mga miraculous moments for me. Yeah. Because without those, I wouldn't be able to serve you at all. I wouldn't be able to um, ask for your forgiveness when I've made mistakes, or even be humble enough to admit I made mistakes. Ang daming nabago ni Lord sa akin through prayer, through my prayer time. And you know what? It really, hindi naman ako nag-start na, scripture reading, agad, reflection. I mean, if you love to do that and you love to journal and you love to write your prayers and all of that, that's really beautiful. But if you're like me, that I like to just say it, like, out loud kay God. And lock myself in a room and talk to him for 2 hours. Yun yung prayer for me. Doon ako pinaka nag-change. Doon ko pinaka nare-receive yung messages niya for me. Um, doon nagsisoften yung heart ko. Doon nag-open yung heart ko sa kanya. So I guess iba-iba din yung ways of praying, yung ways of being with him and listening to him
Yeah.
and sharing to him yung pinaka deepest desires that you have. I really encourage you because being in a relationship means being totally vulnerable to the person that you're with, especially the person that you've married. Grabe, everything na lang malalaman niya about you. Lalo na yung mga kadiri, yung mga madumi, ayaw mong malaman ng kahit sino, malalaman ng asawa mo yan. So I encourage you to reveal everything na kay God first. That will give you strength to have the confidence to be vulnerable to your spouse in the future. Because if you can trust God with everything, yung rawness mo, yung temper mo, yung the shame that you have in your heart, the ugliness that you feel toward yourself, and all of these things, if you reveal that to God, and if you allow him to take that, I think by the time that you're with your spouse, you're with that person um who is really trying to win your trust. Yan naman yan eh. Magka-confidence ka to give that trust to this person. That's how it was for me. Like I wouldn't have been able to trust JPaul without trusting God first, without surrendering to God first, without working on my relationship with him first. It's the most beautiful relationship you're gonna have, and then your relationship with your spouse. So I want you to remember that when you're married, you're bringing yourself and your relationship with God into that marriage. Kasi ganun din yung spouse mo eh. He's bringing himself and whether he has a relationship with God or he doesn't, yan yung madadala niya sa marriage ninyo. And that will be your baseline. That will serve as your values, your principles. So yeah, if you're single, build on your relationship with God. Build on your prayer life. However that looks. Whatever you want that to look like for you. Maybe for you, it's going out into nature and feeling God there, talking to God there. Maybe if you're like me, you just want to stay in your room and have an out loud conversation with him. How do you how can we encourage them to build on prayer in their own way, experience God in their own way?
I guess I want to start with this, that if we were just given a list, I could write down 1,000 things that I think very selfish to Viv. And at the same time, Viv can write 1,001 things that I am selfish with or what's wrong with us. But in prayer, we are reminded that what is really important. So for me, it can be as very simple as praying a 1 minute prayer. You just pause in the car, in the toilet, whatever, and just Lord, just say, um, Jesus, I want to meet the right person. I want to be the right person. It's that simple. It's just declaring that, and then eventually it's gonna grow. You start with that. Start by verbalizing, sorry, verbalizing the desire in your heart that you want a happy marriage. Tell it to your friends, tell it to people, and soon what you ask for, you shall receive.
Yeah, ganda. And I promise, may fruits to. I promise, even if hindi mo nga mahanap yung one true love mo in a spouse or a boyfriend, nahanap mo yung one true love mo kay God. And that's the most important relationship you can ever have. That will be the starting point of every other beautiful relationship you're going to have, with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends. Yeah. So if you feel in your heart that God is calling you to just have a conversation with him. Maybe during your coffee time, your tea time, or while you're exercising. Don't you do that? Like when you're walking or exercising, you talk to God, you feel God. Don't let that moment and opportunity pass. If God talks to you, or like, wala lang, na-feel mo lang siya, just acknowledge his presence. And I don't know, it will really bloom and blossom in your life, and it will cause your life to grow in ways you've never imagined. So yeah,
God loves you.
God loves you so much. And we're excited for you. We're excited for your journey with God and your surrender to God. I promise this, it will unlock so many beautiful plans and dreams. And yeah, you deserve this beautiful relationship with God.
Thank you. And I pray for God's favor in your life to bless your marriage in the future. And yeah, you are worth loving.
Mm.
And if you're wondering right now, you maybe feel alone listening to this, and it's just like the three of us talking. I want you to know there's a fourth person. His name's Jesus. And Jesus is holding you right now in your sadness, in your grief, in your loneliness. And he is telling you, you're worth loving. Thank you for joining today's I Do podcast, and see you again next week. Or listen to us, let's talk again next week.
God bless.
God bless.